I have to start with an apology. First, Naza is sort of stuck somewhere, so I was selfish enough to slot myself in to take over from her. So thank you, Naza, for giving me the opportunity to do this. And I'll be co-moderating this session with Emmanuel Ekwem. He's the one sharing the slides right now. So officially, I'd like to say welcome to our applications information session. In this session, we'll be discussing everything that you need to know about Science Cafe as a community, as a science community, and also giving you pointers and let's say all the information you need to make a successful application and hopefully get into the community as well. So please, it's not just for us, the moderators, to do all the talking. Would like if you also interact. I mean, you can drop questions in the chat, and also maybe when we're done with the presentation, if you have questions that perhaps you want to, voice out rather than just type, you can also do that by just raising your hand or indicating in the chat as well. So Emmanuel, I think we can start now. So let's go to the first outline. Emmanuel, the first outline.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, all right. So Science Cafe was founded in November 2020. But before I continue, please, can we all see the slides clearly?
Yes, please.
Would you prefer? Okay, I'm hearing a lot of yes, right? Is there any no? Oh, awesome. All right, yes, then. So thank you. I love that voice. Science Cafe was founded in November 2020. And fun fact, I am honored to say I was one of the first members of Science Cafe. Yeah, I'm really old in the community. And the dream was in Africa. So I know personally that it started from the co-founders just wanting to find a way to retain their knowledge of science and their passion, particularly in a place like Nigeria and by large Africa, where it's really hard to keep up with science when it feels like reality means that you have to get a non-science role. And you find that a lot of people that are really passionate about science in school just, got tired and they left. So one of the aims of the community starting out in November 2020 was to give these people, people that were now in different sectors and even those that were not yet out of uni, an opportunity to grow together and pursue the dreams that if they were in isolation, they would not have been able to do. So one thing that we do is that we try to motivate and support early career bioscientists that are obviously passionate about personal development and career advancement. So to break it down in simple English, it means that in the community, for most of you that have seen our flyers, you know that we have conversations on different bioscience topics. We also talk about personal development. I remember that we've once taken a session, I think it was Rachel Totti that took us a session on interpersonal relationships. We've done time management. We've had conversations about how science plays out in politics. We've had even just peer-to-peer mentoring. We've also had just conversations and sessions where people just vent out how they're feeling. I think we did that one time during the cash scarcity. So the point is that we understand that beyond helping people to achieve their goals science-wise, it's also important that we build and give them space to grow personally as well. So one of the things that we've also done as a community is to ensure that most of our members have been able to collaborate on a number of things. I remember that Olaiton, Weyemi, and World Okete were able to write an article together. There are also a number of community members who are genuinely interested in what others are doing and reach out to them to learn more about it. Also, here in Science Cafe, we try to also help people to discover what it is they're really passionate about in science. So I'll use myself as an example. Before I joined Science Cafe, I didn't know about biochemistry from Delta State University and a normal Nigerian girl, I guess. And when I joined Science Cafe, I think we were having a conversation one time and it played around bioethics. And I found that I was very bothered about what was happening. I think more than anybody else in that session. And someone just, I think, mentioned the name and stuff like that. And they were meant to give a presentation on it. And I tried to read up on it. And one thing I discovered was that in that moment, I found passion for something I didn't even know I would care about. So another thing about Science Cafe is it's absolutely fine if you are joining and you don't really know which area in science you're passionate about. I mean, I feel like through sessions, through interactions with people, through reading content and a lot of other things, you eventually will be able to find your path in science. And it might not be as traditional as you think it is, but the focus is to build a community where you are comfortable and you are safe enough to explore that path for yourself. So generally, that's the summary of what Science Cafe is about. So now we'll be reviewing why you should join the Science Cafe community. Yeah, so before we go to that, I should just quickly add, sorry, Mano, yeah, thank you, that I think I've mentioned it already that we accept young Africans that are interested in bioscience. And bioscience is not just restricted to the traditional pharmacy, medicine, biochemistry. Um, Bioethics is also part of bioscience. I'm trying to think of many other fields. Biophysics, if that exists, is also part of bioscience. So the weirder your field, the more interesting it is. So we accept undergrads, graduate students, post-bachelors, and advanced degrees. And here in the community, there is no segregation. We don't reason or interact based on the fact that some people have a higher degree than others. It's an equal playing field. So if you have the knowledge others don't have, you share it with others. And everybody doesn't know, you can't know everything. So it's just important that no, whatever the stage you are, you would always find a place in the community. That's something that is very important to note. So in biological sciences, agricultural sciences, anatomy, physiology, animal and plant biology, biochemistry, biotechnology, cell and molecular biology. I think that's quite popular. Environmental sciences, we have quite a number of community members that are really passionate about environmental sciences. Forensics, I think we've had a session on that by Esther Adepoju. Genetics, medical sciences, microbiology, pharmaceutical sciences, and a lot more. And so, just like I said, even if your research interest or your career or your field of study is not here on this list, as long as it loosely fits into bioscience, you're welcome into the community. So now, our mission statement as a community is that we're nurturing the workforce for the future of bioscience and related research in Africa. And Nigeria is a cradle because it started in Nigeria, but it's not restricted to Nigeria. So beyond people just collaborating to grow, we want to ensure that even the workforce for bioscience and science in Africa has a better structure in the future by ensuring that the people that we build today are able to hold the structure for tomorrow. And then our vision statement is to be a community. I think I've mentioned this in different sentences that motivates aspiring and early career scientists career advancement, self-discovery, and expression. So once again, before I hand over to Emmanuel, I just everybody here that I know I've mentioned it a lot that you do not have to feel like you don't fit into the community because a lot of us traditionally would not fit in, but we would help you find a place if you need a place. Would help you on the journey of self-discovery. So generally, it's just about ensuring that early career scientists, young people that love science and are interested in science, are equipped to be able to hold up the structure that we've been clamoring for in Africa as a whole. Yeah, so I think with that, hand over to Emmanuel while he shares some things you should know about applications. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, Ruth. So I think Ruth has done a very good job in talking about why you should join Science Cafe. And I'm very glad to see the numbers, and I could hear the excitement in the voice of everyone we spoke with. Sorry we couldn't get to hear everyone introduce themselves. But I'm certain that as we progress and over time, I'm sure we'll meet each other in the community and we'll get to know better. So I wouldn't emphasize more on why you should join the community, because I think Ruth has done has done quite a lot of has done quite a lot on that area, talking about how we foster a healthy community where science and research and science interest is improved on and developed amongst ourselves. So I'll be guiding us this through these a bit. So I'm sure as many of us we were but they feel that the only way. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. We began to tell us how do we apply these things we learned. Like I don't know if I introduced myself properly. My name is Emmanuel. I'm a graduate of medical biochemistry. During the early stages of my courses, I always wondered how to apply this, because when you check, you see that a couple of um, um, molecular biology and the likes. So begin to wonder, how do we apply? And I think at the moment, because we conclude that traveling abroad is the next, or going for masters is the next, and everything. But after school, we lose touch of our science community, right? I don't
Emmanuel, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's much better now.
Can everyone hear me, please? If you cannot hear me clearly, please indicate in the chat box.
Yeah, we can, but your voice keeps breaking at intervals.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just talking about how the community is a place that ensures our science interest doesn't wane off. So why join Science Cafe? You probably have been seeing, like a couple of persons says, they've been seeing our posts on LinkedIn. Probably have been seeing our posts on a colleague's WhatsApp status. But now you're asking yourself, why do I need to join this community? So thank you very much. So first is to acquire knowledge. One thing is certain, that no one knows everything, and the good thing about the wealth of our community is our community comprises of individuals across the educational sector, across different levels of education. We have BSc students, we have MSc students, and we have students running their PhD programs. And the more interesting part is the community that has a wealth of members across the world. So when we come to interact on topics, we get to share points of view from various aspects. So being part of Science Cafe increases your knowledge and depth of the latest bioscientific developments and research. Through scientific discussions. And you don't just increase your knowledge, we also help you hone your skills. So the community offers access to opportunities to develop research skills, because while in the community, there are various activities we engage in. from the volunteering section down to the article writing community. We have groups. So one thing is certain, that being part of the community means you must be active. You have to be active. You have to do something, which includes thinking. You would have to make presentations at intervals. Every one member of the community makes presentations or makes research on articles, or you would write on a topic, because we all have our article groups. So it helps you own your research skills. It makes you continue learning, because like I said before, after school, or let's say as you progress through the phase of life, you might begin to wonder, or might begin to lose touch of your science background, or you might begin to lose touch with your science passion. But being part of the community ensures that you have access to this information. You also engage in researches like this. You present your findings. So it gives you, it keeps you with critical thinking, oral scientific writing, and bioinformatics. We've had quite a lot of sessions on these. I think, remember one time when we had a very thorough session on bioinformatics, I think, and it was so engaging and very interesting. And I'm sure that one person can collaborate, get to build new relationships with individuals. You get to meet people that have similar interests as you do. Begin to meet people across interdisciplinary, because I think community. Each time I mention the fact that I am a medical biochemist, I think a couple of persons have reached out to me and say, okay, so what's the difference between medical biochemistry and biochemistry? And then we're going to have as a group to so provides a platform to network and collaborate. Just as Ruth mentioned, writes articles that have been published, and I'm sure that there are still more on the way. Have a process that ensures that members joining the community we don't just accommodate people that do not have passion. So we ensure that every one person that joins the community is passionate about being in the community. So a brief expo, this is not part of the presentation, but inactive members in the community are also taken out at intervals, and then you have to go through the application process again. So what does that mean? It means that being part of the community means being in from this part. So seriously as you take being in the community, and no part is taken lightly. This is not to scare you, I promise you. This is just to make you know that you are coming to be part of something important, and we take it important, and we would like you to take it important. So I'm going to guide you on how to write your application essay and be part of the community. But before I go on, I would like to confirm once again if you can hear me. So if you can hear me, just indicate in the chat box. Please, can you hear me? Oh well, people that are filled from it's very fine also. I hope and I'm sure that you give the best of your ability. So this is not like we're going to fill those that can't hear you. Sorry, it's those that are already filled. No, but just want to see, you don't also just go and we fill and we apply. that's just you could. So now, what are we looking out for? Your knowledge of the community. This session we've had and your previous exposure to articles and posts from the community makes you know what we are about. We are a community of young scientists that are very passionate about science development in Africa and in Nigeria, and making sure that we maintain networking, and we maintain interaction, and then we also collaborate to do big things. So knowledge of the community, and then what are your career goals? What are your career goals? And like I mentioned before, how do you think Science Cafe can help you with that? Yeah, how do you think Science Cafe can help you advance those career goals? A couple of members of our team, members of the community rather, are academias pushing for high positions in the academic cadre, while others are pharmacists. We have pharmacists in our midst. That discussions we come up with, or topics we discuss here, steer them into much thinking. We have researchers here that are out working on topics, researching on various important topics that would help the science community and then help the general public. So your career goals, and then the next is how those goals fit the community's overall purpose. Like I mentioned before, this couple of things I just mentioned, talking about the group of people we have in our community, the pharmacists, the writers. These, as much as these are your personal career goals, being part of the community now helps you fine-tune those areas, and then like we said before, we have an overall goal to perfect the workforce of the science community in Africa. And being part of the community, how would we contribute to that? How would we contribute to you being at the top, being the best in what you do? And also, how do we ensure that the knowledge of science and the passion for science is maintained in every individual that joins us? So how do you hope now? The next is, how do you hope to contribute and benefit from the community? So now this is the part where I would mention a bit. I'll talk a bit about the volunteering session of the community, the volunteering unit of the community. So in the community, we have a group of teams. We have the camps team, we have the chaperones team, we have the synthesis team, and these teams carry out various functions in the community. So even as we are scientists, we still have some extra skills that we bring into the community, where the camps team handle the social media management and the communication for the community. The synthesis team handles everything presentation based, graphic based. So as many of us as are graphic designers, as many of us that are skilled in the area, are creatives, can volunteer to be part of the synthesis team. And then we have the chaperones team, which I represent. We handle general moderation of the community and handle communication also like this. So being part of the community means you have to contribute, like I said, and you also benefit. So it's a two-way thing. No one is ever perfect in anything. So like we say, people join the chaperones team to learn how to be better presenters. People join the synthesis team to learn how to be better at design and communication, visual communication. And people join the camps team also to learn how to communicate in the more social and public platform, in public platforms generally. So we are looking out for individuals that are passionate to join the community and that are willing to contribute to the community while they benefit from the community. Yeah. And like I said earlier, the word count for this, your personal essay, is going to be within 150 to 200 words. We suggest that your communication is clear and it expresses you the best way. So put your best foot forward. That's basically what we're saying. Put your best foot forward. Let us know you and let us be excited to have you in our midst. So what are the common errors that people do when applying for this? Because most of the time when they see this, they just feel, okay, this is just one of the regular communities. Let us just do what we can do, or let's just do the way as it feels. They don't apply as much dedication as they should have. And so We just listed some of the common errors so you can avoid them while filling yours, and to know that we are looking out for these things. And they include poorly or wrongly placed and incomplete details. So filling the form just haphazardly because we feel it's not relevant is going to be a turn off for us, because we expect that you take it serious. We expect that your tenses and the details you use are correct. And the lack of willingness, because these sections are indicated, the lack of willingness to commit to the community's activities. So like I stated, nobody comes into the community and just stays and observes. We don't have any observing member. We have active members, and every member of the community at one time or the other within the year are scheduled for presentations based on their research topics, or even based on anything they feel they want to share with the community. But the bottom line is we all want to learn from each other, and we don't want anyone to stay left out. So we expect that everyone intending to join, every of the intending members, are also willing to contribute to that community and its activities. And then some of the other areas is the poor knowledge of the community. So some persons don't know why the community exists, or some persons don't even know what the community is about. They just feel, okay, this is a community of young guys, let me just join. These are areas that we look out for in the application, and then these are what things we screen out for too. Poorly written essays are there wouldn't be need to emphasize more on that. It's not like we are looking for we're looking for you to write one academic writing and all that, but we expect that you properly communicate yourself. That's all we are looking for, that you properly communicate yourself, expressing your goals, expressing your commitment to the community, expressing how much you are willing to contribute to the community. And then eventually, when your course area doesn't fit into the plan for the community, actually, you also, individuals fall into that category are also not accepted. Okay, would there be an interview after submission of the essay? Okay, well, just a quick one. There will be no interview. Actually, there will be no interview. But and then I also suggest that subsequent questions, please. Subsequent questions will be attended to after my presentation. Now, that question just caught my attention. That's why I just touched on it. But subsequent questions will be answered afterwards. So, and failure to meet the word count. So we said 150 to 200 words, and failure to meet that word count also disqualifies an applicant, because we feel that in writing there are certain markers that places you in the place of expertise. I know we can't go into an exam hall and just write 2 lines. You can't express. I don't think you can express yourself well enough in anything less than 150 to 200 words. Honestly, I don't feel you can express yourself well enough. So anything less than that means that you probably didn't express yourself well, or you probably didn't put as much effort as needed, or you just didn't take the whole process serious. And just to announce, please, you can start dropping your questions. They'll be attended to. I just hope, because I know Zoom refreshes question sessions, comment sessions at intervals, but you can keep dropping your questions, and if they are missed, I'm sure someone's taking note of the questions and will attend to them immediately. So yeah, course area and research interests, as long as it is science-based, as long as it's especially life science-based. But honestly, I won't lie to you to say social sciences will be accepted, or arts will be accepted. Over time, I'm sure communities for those will be created, but at the meantime, based on the vision and mission we have, our research areas are centered around the life sciences, the sciences, and the biological sciences, which is like the life sciences actually. So now, I'll be calling on some of our members to speak, so that you could just briefly hear, so you could hear from our members and see what we have to offer. Like I said earlier, I said we have 3 teams. Honestly, adding to that, I hope the comment section, you guys can engage with the comment section, because like Martin just said, an arts person joining the community will be so lost. And like I said earlier, everyone is expected to participate. So it will be odd for the arts person to come and hear I was talking about things that they can't relate with, it's not going to meet the vision, the total the primary objective the community was created for. So I'll be calling on a couple of our members now to speak about the cafe and how they experience this. So Ruth will be handling this part. I'll be calling on Ruth now to handle this part. She would be speaking, exposing you to members of the community and letting you know their experience in the community. So thank you very much, Ruth. You can take over now.
Oh, thank you so much, Emmanuel. I love the fact that you took your time to really explain what it is that we're looking out for in applications. Yeah. So very quickly, just so that we can jump to the Q&A already, I'd like to invite a few of our members to just share their experience about the community and also, give advice to those that have applied or would want to apply on maybe things that they could factor into the application, or if they are accepted, things they should know early on in the community. So the first person that I'll be calling, no bias whatever, is Rachel Totti. A little bit of disclaimer, she sounds a lot like me, but it's not me. So Rachel, if you could just please unmute and maybe in the next 2 minutes, just share some of your experiences here and tips for people that are looking to join the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ruth. Am I being heard? I think so. Apologies. We sound really alike. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel. I joined the cafe in 2021. Yes. And, I really didn't have much interest in research per se, but I was intrigued by infectious disease. I was also intrigued by viral illnesses as well. So particularly HIV. So I was really interested at the time. So when I joined the cafe, I got exposed to a lot of other research interests. I remember somebody did a presentation on soilless farming. People were doing on nanotechnology. Wealth is a wealth. One of our co-founders is very invested in neglected tropical disease and immunology. Ruth is the bioethics. So I got exposed to a lot of other research interests that now sort of broadened my horizon. Where I thought I was just comfortable with viral illnesses, I started to look at public health in general. I found it also really intriguing and some other things. So I think beyond even just learning about other aspects of science that relate to what I do or what I might be interested in, I believe that my interests are now growing, actually they're evolving, which is good. I've also learned a whole lot more about personal development, career advancement. We've had people come talk to us about even science startups. And so when we talk about it, we can see the pros and the cons. But especially as pharmacists, there's a part of me that wants to lean towards the business side in case you want to build something that is science related. So for me personally, I would say that my research interest has widened a lot. So I would encourage those of us that applied and new persons that when you come, please come with an open mind. Everybody's here to learn. There's so much wealth. I'm sorry, I'm using your name. There's so much wealth of knowledge that is available in the cafe. So when you come, you'll be exposed to things beyond your own field of study. And we've had people use other people's research techniques in theirs, which is really models. Yeah. So I think my advice would be come with an open mind. And one of the things, Wealth, I'm sorry I'm referencing Wealth a lot, but he's one of the co-founders, and one of the words he usually uses is that we're a community. And that is important. Like, we're not just random people. We all have some form of interpersonal relationship. So the community feeling is also there. Like, you're not lost in the field of science. There's always somebody that can assist you with something, mentor you in something, or just check on you for other things. So it's been an amazing ride, and I look forward to more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for that. Thank you for sharing your experiences as well. That was quite interesting. Yes, I was biased. All right. So now the next community member I'd like to invite to just briefly speak as well is Alimat Atonda. So Alimat, if you could just unmute and, what advice do you have for applicants, and also just sharing your experience as well? Alimat. All right, so while we're waiting for Alimat, I think we can just take Nasil first then. Nasiruddin Abdurrashid is one of our chaplains and is a volunteer here in community, and is one of our, permit me to use the word AGBA members. So for those that don't know the meaning of AGBA, it's more like elderly, but not in the sense of age now. So Nasil, if you could just unmute and in the next like 2 minutes, also just share tips for applicants and just your personal experience in Science Cafe so far.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Chief, we can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Nasiruddin of Science
Oh.
Cafe in 2020 when the committee started. As you can rightly guess tonight, there is a particular name that keeps popping up every time during the discussion, and that's Wet. So I joined Science Cafe through Wet Okete. It was during the COVID-19, so I was looking for a platform to keep me busy because of the lockdown and all the stuff like that. So it was during that time they were looking for volunteers to join their community. So I applied and I was selected. But over the years, I would like to share these tips because during the first years, I had challenges with light issue. In fact, I think part of my phrase that time was epileptic power supply because I had to miss session due to light, but I was able to overcome that. So I would like to share these 3 C's with you. The first one is commitment. Now that you've taken the first step in joining the community, that's good. And we know that the first step is always the hardest step. So now, having taken the first step, the next one is consistency. It is time consuming and it requires a lot of dedication. I know the enthusiasm is high now that we're going to be part of the community that caters for African bioscientists with Nigeria as a cradle. So I would like to employ you to keep up that energy, that enthusiasm you have in joining the community. Then trash your challenges. Like mine during the first year, I had challenges with light issues, so I was able to overcome it. Then in physical science, we know that like charges repel, but in life science, like minds attract, and that's the basis for our collaboration here in the community. This is the first virtual community that I've seen that over 3 years, I've not met any member of the community, but we interact as if we normally have physical meetings. So I welcome you on to the community in case your application successfully scale through, which I pray it would, so that you enjoy more of this. I've learned a lot during in the community, and as part of the member, I've benefited as a I've benefited a scholarship to go for immunoinformatics and computational vaccinology, where I learned how to design a vaccine fully sponsored by the community. So once again, I look forward to seeing you in the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nasil. That was wow. That was really good. Thank you so much. So now Alimat is available. And so Alimat, if you could just unmute and share some of your experiences in Science Cafe and maybe tips for people that are applying. Yeah. Did you get that?
Hi. Can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I didn't get the full question, but I think I get what I'm supposed to do. I joined Science Cafe, I think 2 years ago, and so far it's been amazing learning one thing after the other and making new friends. I'm one of the members of the camps volunteering group, so social media team. And the only reason I joined was because one of the previous members, that's Olaiton, he was very excited about me joining. If he hadn't been in my DM, like hyping the whole team, I don't think I would have joined as quickly as I joined. And till date, I'm still there. And so far, I've learned a lot about science communication. In fact, Science Cafe gave me the opportunity to actually explore writing when it comes to life sciences. I didn't really have that kind of platform before until recently when I've explored other platforms. So apart from the technical parts of science and talking about genome or pharmaceuticals, there's also other soft skills that I've been able to learn as a member of Science Cafe. And as far as our community and friendship goes, there is a very tight bond between members. Like as long as you're interested in building that connection with people, you will always find that people are ready to, connect with you too. So you have this group of people that are willing to support you regardless of what you're doing. You see us on social media, like our individual um, pages, when we share good news, the first set of people that will comment or repost will be the members of Science Cafe. And there's just that feeling of love and support that you know that, okay, these people are, if I need something, I can always come to the group and ask for help and I'll definitely get something. So when you're explain what it is that you want to come and learn, explain what it is that you think you can give to the, because as much as you're receiving, we want you to receive. Everybody has something to offer. Okay, I finished talking. Thank you for listening, and we are looking forward to meeting you.
Wow, thank you, Alima. That was amazing. And I think just like you said, beyond just us being part of community, I've seen community members rally behind each other. I mean, I've seen you guys rally behind me when I started my newsletter, and a lot of others. I mean, when each of us have started one or two initiatives, it's really been amazing, honestly, to just have people that would constantly support you. So just for those that don't know, Alima is actually the team lead of the volunteering group she's talking about. And Rachel is the team lead for Synthesis volunteering group. So I'll just give the opportunity to just one more community member would like to share something. Is there any other community member? I can just only take one person. You can just raise your hand if you have something to say. So just community members now. Anyone? Any pepper or salt you'd like to add to the meal? Something you think nobody has talked about? All right. I'm not seeing any hands up, but all right. I would have wanted either Idris Momodu or Amde Faluyi or Kodinum to speak. Just one more person in the community. Could be anybody. So who is going? Or should I just hand over to Emmanuel and mind my business? All right, so Nasil says begin with the end in mind. And I'd just like to add that. So just before I hand over to Emmanuel, I think, oh, Yusuf Karim, would you like to speak?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello?
So please, just 2 minutes. Thank you.
All right. So I'm welcoming them in advance. Then I just believe it's not, you are not only coming into Science Cafe to be a member only. You are coming to create another family for yourself where you can share more than science related issues. So that's the reason why I'm welcoming you in advance. There is a community where you can share more than science issue. You can even share to the extent of you open the book of life. So it's very, very important to be part of this community where you can learn more, to earn more, and make more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yusuf, for that. So I think finally, before we start Q&A, I'd just like to add for people that are yet to make the applications that I think something that is key and something that you should note is the importance of you being authentic in your application. So just state your reason or share your story the way it is. I mean, there's nothing that is able to pierce through a person's heart than just, truth. So whatever it is that you want, you don't have to glamorize it too much. Just be straightforward and authentic in your storytelling, in your application. I think that in itself also has a way of showing people that you know what you want and you're not afraid to share it. Very much, everyone. So be open-minded. I think a lot of us have emphasized that, and just feel free to speak amongst people. So Emmanuel, I think we can start the Q&A now.
All right, thank you very much, Ruth. Just a quick, final one. I just want to encourage everyone, just like Ruth said, please let's just be authentic, just be yourself. It's not like we are out to make sure people don't join us, okay? Be yourself. So please, something occurred to me. I just remember one of the discussions we had one time. Please, no, don't use ChatGPT or AI to write. Just write it from the depth of your heart. Write something authentic. So now we're moving to the next session, which is the Q&A session. I'll be starting from the top questions that I saw, and then you can keep dropping your questions as we move on. Yeah. So the first question that I attended to was the question that would there be an interview after submission of the essay? I think to that there will be no interview. Does attendance to today's meeting count as preference for acceptance into the community for someone like me who applied today? Well, Godson, it actually does put your one foot forward because it shows that you actually are passionate about this, but then we'll still pay as much attention to what you also submitted, despite. We appreciate your attendance in today's meeting because it means that you're actually very passionate about joining. And I'm sure this meeting has also enlightened you on what we are about. I'm sure it also makes you more excited to join, but then your application is also going to be considered. What if my course area does not fit into bioscience and I'm just here to learn? Hi, Rookie Bam Bam. Yeah, hi, Rookie Bam Bam. Could you tell us what your area of interest, what your course area is? What your course area is? What's the course area? Oh, there's a question on that already. Okay, I think that area has been talked about. Mukibamba is interested in mathematics, but she would love to learn about other aspects of science that she knows nothing about. Well, thank you for letting us know about that. I think we would consider, as long as mathematics is a part of science, right? And mathematics is the bedrock of innovations. And I'm sure your communication on why you want to join the community would further buttress on why you should be added to the community. Um, okay, so guys, please, if you have questions now, you can drop more questions in the comment section, or you can also indicate by raising your hands. I'm saying something about ChatGPT being a red flag for disqualification. Yes, I think Nasiruddin is going to handle that part. He's going to handle the screening for that area. So guys, please, are there questions? If you have questions, you can indicate, and I would call on you. Please, I would like us to ask as much questions as possible, so that your application process will be very smooth. So Sherry, if you want to say something, because your mic is unmuted.
No, sorry, that was a mistake.
All right. So are there questions? It seems there are not much questions to ask. I guess the presentation we've done so far has attended to all the questions. Wow. Okay.
All right. So would like to know any questions, Emmanuel? I mean, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
I'm trying not Emmanuel Ekwem. There's another Emmanuel, but I'm trying not to pronounce surname again. I didn't get it correctly the other time.
No question for my end.
I think you joined quite a number of our sessions, like one or two. Yeah, Emmanuel, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I don't.
All right. Favor, Genga, any questions?
No questions based on where I joined. I properly understood everything.
This will sound weird, Benga, but you sound like one of our members, Emmanuel Adediran, actually. But it's okay. I'm glad there are no questions. But if you have any questions, please, you can just drop in the chat, and I'll gladly.
I think Chinaza dropped a question.
Yeah, so Shadrach, yeah, if an applicant has a question after this session, who do they contact? Okay, so after this session, you can send a DM on any of our social media pages. And then I think you can also just contact us via email. You'd find it in the chat. I think somebody could be gracious enough to drop it in the chat. So you can send it via email or through DM to any of our social media pages, and then you get a response on any other question that you might have. You mentioned that you are yet to get a feedback. All right, yeah, so decisions will be sent out by July 1st. And we look forward to being part of your onboarding session. That would be fun, honestly. So our email, thank you very much, Rachel, is sciencecafe20@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, feel free to just send it there, and then would respond promptly with whatever it is that you might need us for as well. Naomi, Adelola, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Wow, Naomi, you have a nice voice. All right then. Benga, your hand is raised. You can go ahead.
Yes, since I joined late, I wanted to ask about how do we get the application link to register? That's why that's
Oh, okay. So it has also been shared on all our platforms, but we'll drop it here in the chat box for you as well. But I also would advise that before you, should you just be making the application now, before you do, you might also want to check out our post on social media. So we shared FAQs about what you should know about the application. I think it's very important to go through it just before you make your application because it might offer more insights and just help you avoid certain errors as well while you're making your application. So the link is there in the chat box. Did I answer your question, Benga?
yes, you answered my question.
Awesome. Now, we'll be rounding up very soon. And before we go, so in case we don't have more questions or while more questions are still coming up, we usually play games a lot in the community to just interact better with ourselves actually. So I'd like everyone, yes please, everybody in this meeting or session as we like to call it, to go to the chat and type like the names of like 3 people that you've heard speak or interact in the chat box today. So please, even if you're not a member, you still should do that. And fun fact, when you peep at the participant's name, the funny thing is, I'm trying to say this and say this in a kind way, is that the kind thing I'm trying to say is that I'm kind of like a chaperone in the community. So I sort of know almost everybody that's talked today. So should you just be picking random names, I will know. So please, based on the people that you've heard speak and names that you can remember and people that you've interacted with in chat, just drop names of like 3 people that you've heard speak or chat, like, or seen their comments in the chat box today. It's a very simple thing to do. So we can all start. Okay. So Imola says Rachel, Ruth, and Nasil. Okay. Rachel says Martin, Emmanuel, Ruki Bam Bam. Martin says Yusuf and Emmanuel squared. So that's Emmanuel Ekwem and Emmanuel, sorry, at the sorry, Emmanuel. Nasiruddin and Emmanuel for Benga. Michael Lufemi says Ruth, Rachel, Alima. Not to, oh, strange. Not to comment on your comments, Michael, but I think the names are quite deliberate. Okay, so Naomi Adelola says the 2. I'm trying for the sake of my dad not to pluralize the name here. And Ruki Bam Bam. So that's Ruth and Rachel. So Alima says Ruth and Naomi. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Shadrach says Ruth, Rachel, Emmanuel. Benga, I'll just like to know, please, did you get the tips that were shared by the community on how to apply? I mean, when we're making the presentation.
Is it today's presentation?
Yes, during today's presentation.
To actually for a friend of mine sent the necessary things to me before the presentation. I think he was the person that posted it on the WhatsApp, and I asked that I would like to try and send.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I'm just saying during our presentation, Emmanuel and I talked about common errors to avoid when you're making your presentation.
Yes, I got those.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to be sure you did. All right then. So Naomi, I'm quite surprised that you nailed our surnames. Fun fact, Richard and I are obviously related, but it's just interesting that somebody would get it that well. So Nasiruddin, wow, says Shedrack, Naomi, Ruth, Esther, Rachel, Alima, and Yusuf. So Judith, I haven't seen you type. I've not gotten anything from Judith. Favor says Ruth, Rachel, Emmanuel. Oh, Judith, I missed yours. Ruth, Rachel, Emmanuel. Yeah. So who has not said anything? Sharif Agbaje, you haven't. Well, yeah, Judith, I found your comment.
I already text. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I found your comment. Sorry about that. Um, okay, so I don't know. I hope I didn't miss anybody's comments, but thank you so much, guys. I mean, it's quite obvious that we're all paying attention, and for those that are applied or about to apply, we hope that you get through and that we get to officially banter with you in the community and play around as well. So any other questions or comments from anyone? Or is there anything that any of the co-founders or team leads would like to add before we go? Okay, Ruth, I raised my hand. Can I go ahead? Oh yeah, Rachel, you can. All right. So I think I probably skipped this part when I was talking earlier. But for our aspiring members, and I hope that we'll call you guys members soon. And I also hope you get to encourage people around you to join. Two things I want to say. First of all, we look at other countries, but especially US and other, countries where the science activities have. We are interested in what they have. We crave what they have. But I just want to remind us that what we are building here is going to be a process, and we need everybody to be part of that process. Beyond being a community, Science Cafe has a vision, especially for Nigeria and Africa. Science, going to school to study biochemistry, people are asking you, what are you going to do with it when you're done and all of that. We want to make a difference. We want to make science a household name in Africa, especially Nigeria. So I just want to encourage our applicants to also reach out to their friends or people they know that are interested in research, or people that just want to grow in their career, especially bioscience, to join and just open their minds and also be part of this movement. That's one. Then two, we're not just limited to science too. We believe in equipping ourselves. I probably didn't mention this, but I think, especially for our volunteering teams, we do things that are not related to science at all. It's either you're doing social media, I do designs, the chaperones do moderation, things that they won't teach you in uni at all about in science school or science classes. So this is just my way of encouraging our applicants. We are trying to reach as many people as possible with this, but I just want to encourage you guys to share with your network as well. Let them know about it. Let them, you might just be inviting the next Albert Einstein into Science Cafe, and you never know. So just please, let's be sure to share and let as many people that are interested in research rather, let them know about it, and share some of these tips with them and help them too. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel, for that. That was really good. Thank you. So in just continuing from where Rachel stopped, the part of sharing it with your community, well, we recorded this session. So very funny, Chinaza. We recorded this session. So we'll be sharing it on our YouTube channel. Just search Science Cafe and look out for our logo on YouTube, and you should find it there. So you can just share that link with as many people as would want to also apply, so that they can watch this session again and just learn from it. So also I'd like to emphasize, like we said earlier, it's not only for grad students or post-bachelors. Undergrads are
strongly encouraged. That's the word to use to apply. So we have a number of undergrads in the community, but would like more people to apply, because you find that most of us, I mean, using myself as an example, joined the community after BSc, and in a way, there are certain things I wish that I had known on time that I didn't know. If I had known some things when I was an undergrad, I mean, I don't know, things would have probably been a bit different. So please, if you know undergrads around you in bioscience, encourage them to join the community as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming. It was lovely meeting every single of your night and your week, and continue to spread the good news about Science Cafe. Thank you and have a lovely night. Good night.
Yeah, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Good night.
Everyone, thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm hearing all the sweet voices. This is the sweet part of saying good night.